And welcome back, everyone. Oh, one for Fun Gaming. Wow. Hey, thanks for the subscription right off the bat. Just as soon as I hit that button. That was some epic level timing right there. Anyway, welcome back to Fantasy Grounds Fridays. I am Bryce. I am the streaming specialist at SmiteWorks. And with me tonight, our special guest is Greg, or DM Greg. And you run our organized play, both Wizards of the Coast's Dungeons and Dragons Adventures League and the Paizo. What do they call their Pathfinder? Is it just org play?
Well, generically we say Paizo Organized Play, but it's two programs. It's Pathfinder Society and Starfinder Society. So
okay.
The two rule sets in one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. They do have two kind of main games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're gonna talk to you about all things Fantasy Grounds, all things organized play, all of that.
Great. Yeah, thanks for having me, Bryce.
Yeah, thank you for taking time out of your day. I don't know how busy your schedule is, but it's probably busier than mine. Anyway, I think I'll just start with you wanna give us like a formal introduction for the people that don't know who you are. You want to just tell us about yourself and what you're doing?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just keep it to the last couple of years, Fantasy Grounds focused. Going back, I've been using Fantasy Grounds as a player now for about 4 or 5 years, and GMing a campaign for the same group now for at least 3 years on Fantasy Grounds. Maybe 4, coming up on 4 this summer. But when the pandemic started, prior to the pandemic, I was an avid Adventures League player and GM at my friendly local game store, and I was a avid Starfinder Society player and sometimes GM when they would guilt me into it at my same friendly local game store. And organized play is great for me because I was in the military for 20 years. So anytime I would deploy or go away, I could torpedo a campaign where organized play, you just go away and disappear for 6 months and come back and insert yourself back in. So that's kind of been my TTRPG passion for at least the last 10 years, kind of when I got back into tabletop role-playing games. But so going fast forward, I'll get back into Fantasy Grounds. When COVID started, within weeks of it, I was, I wanted to play my characters that I had on pen and paper, and Fantasy Grounds actually facilitates Adventure League easily. There's even on the PC sheets, there is a tab for logging your games and putting your DCI and stuff for Adventures League. So that's really cool. So I went where a lot of people go, and probably still go, but more probably than was on the forums. And I started posting games on the forums and getting games going. Found a couple of Discord servers. One of them is now defunct, and FG Pug was just standing up at that time. So a lot of games started getting going, which is good. It was an interesting journey. And then over the summer, Doug Davidson hired Violet, who had a very successful online showing at San Diego Comic-Con. And kind of through my wheeling and dealings on the forums, posting games regularly, and I had started a Facebook group and a Warhorn group. And I had just been recruited by Laroon at the Fantasy Grounds Academy to teach Adventure League stuff there. She reached out to me. I became a key volunteer for her in the early days of the Fantasy Grounds Adventures League. There's a lot more, but then leading up to it, she's on a student leave of absence for grad school. Yeah. And SmiteWorks reached out to me asking me if we could get Adventures League going again while she's gone, and then also if I'd be interested in running Paizo Organized Play as well, which I said yes to. And through some back and forth, we got it hammered out, and now we are doing Fantasy Grounds is officially sponsoring running 2 events a month. We got 2 game days a month. One is for D&D Adventures League, and the other one is for Paizo Organized Play, or PFS, SFS, Pathfinder Society, Starfinder Society. And our inaugural Starfinder and Pathfinder Society game day is going to be on April 9th. So it's a mouthful. That's why we say Paizo Organized. I know.
I know. It's just funny. It's just funny to hear it, and you have to think about it because it's a lot of words that you could very easily mix up. But the 9th, that's very soon.
Yeah. So
And
we have.
where can viewers find out more about that? Is there a do we
So
got a spot
I
for it?
would. Yeah, I'm gonna refer everybody to the Fantasy Grounds Discord server, and we have a organized play channel. Games will be run there on New Fantasy Grounds. So we have hidden
Mhm.
super secret game tables. No perception check required to actually find them. What you need to do is in the PFS, get PFS SFS Game Day channel. You just have to click the green check mark. When you do that, then you'll have roles to see the game day channels and all the game tables that we have created and all the announcements that we have and
Oh,
all the
cool.
cool things we're doing. Yeah, so rather than 4,000 plus people seeing what we're doing, it's that way we just keep our community of organized play members kind of in without the distraction of people popping in on us while we're running our games.
Yeah.
They have to willfully accept and manipulate Discord in order to find us. But tomorrow at noon Eastern, my time, we're going to create an event on the Discord with more information, so that way the players know where to sign up, which is going to be on Warhorn, and it'll be a little bit more clear starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, for anybody that is watching this while we are live, at any time, if you're on Twitch, I don't know how this will work with if you're viewing on one of the other platforms, but if you're on Twitch, at any time you can type !Discord, and it will immediately give you a link that will take you to our Discord channel. So you can very easily get in and do that. And before we ask any more questions or talk anymore, I do want to make a little announcement. We are running a giveaway on this stream. So at the end of the stream, we will be drawing a winner for a Fantasy Grounds Victorian map pack, which is one of our new releases this week. So if you want to enter, you have to be watching on Twitch. You have to be following on Twitch. And I believe you have to watch for at least 20 minutes to accumulate enough gold to enter. But when you do, you can type !Art Pack and instantly be entered. So anyway, let's get back to Greg and talking about some fun org play. Yeah, like I said, DRDDT, you have to, I believe you have to watch for like 20 minutes. And the show's an hour, so that should give most people enough time. This is because I wasn't smart enough to set up the loyalty program like 2 weeks ago. I just barely remembered today, so sorry about that. That's my bad. Anyway, so let's trying to think of what's the best way to phrase this question. I guess probably just what is how does org play like differ from running a regular game? Say there's like a DM or a player watching right now who has never delved into organized play. Has always just run home games.
So I'll try to answer it generically for both programs. That both of Paizo and Adventures League have their nuances.
Yeah, if you want to, I can break the question up and I can ask about Adventures League and then ask about Paizo org play.
Yeah. I'll just divert. Well, I'll be clear where I divert.
Okay.
When what's different then, rather than keep it generic. So, D&D Adventures League, it's a program probably at least 10 years old. It actually started as D&D Expeditions League, I think, and then they changed it from what we call DDAL now to it was DDEXP then. So you'll see what we call seasons, and the seasons typically correspond to a hardcover release of an adventure. So 5e started with the Tyranny of Dragons. So you'll see the first two hardcovers for that was DDEXP 1 dash a number that was season 1, right? And then the adventure module number. Paizo does this very similar thing. They have ongoing storyline arcs as well. That relates to what they're doing at Paizo. Now, Paizo Organized Play, because I got into it later after Adventures League, but just table talk and the people I know, I want to say Paizo Organized Play actually goes back before Paizo even embraced it. There was an organized play program that was popular on the internet with first edition, and the organized play. I mean, it's almost that's a proper noun. Organized play actually got incorporated into Paizo's program later.
Oh, okay.
Under their first edition PFS. I'm more, like I said, I'm a Starfinder Society guy, so I was already kind of later in the development of that. But
yeah.
Whether it's Pathfinder Society or Starfinder Society, they also have, we kind of call it seasonality. There are season arcs that are going on. So there are themes as a player. There is a current season, which adventures are slowly being released over time. And you can find brand new adventure. Traditionally, they were at conventions before the pandemic. But now, especially the virtual D&D weekends at Wizards of the Coast, they actually release their premieres at their VDDW, the virtual D&D weekend.
Oh, okay.
So you used to have to go to pretty much a special event in person to get access to that premiere event. But now you could experience that online with Wizards of the Coast. Now, your characters and the story arc, what's nice about it is, and I alluded to it, me being kind of in the military, is you're not committed to a campaign with the same GM in a traditional setting at your friendly local game store or at a friend's house or your house at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
You kind of pick an adventure you want to run. It'll tell you this adventure is for, we'll say, tier 1, which is levels 1 through 4. And you just have to have a character that follows the guidelines for character creation. If you have a legal AL tier 1, level 1 through 4 PC, or same with the Paizo version, you can sit at that table. You don't have to know anybody there. You're welcome there. It's a great community for inclusiveness and accepting people from different walks of life, because you don't know who's going to be at your table. And it's great. It's great that you just insert. You play one game a month. You play one game every 6 months. You could bounce around if you live in a big enough urban area, like I did. And I used to live in San Diego. I could find up to 3 games a week at friendly local game stores and run different adventures. So it's kind of cool. Now, this is where I'll kind of do some Divergent stuff. D&D Adventures League has different campaign settings. They have the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. They have the Eberron campaign setting. And then they have the Ravenloft and Mist Hunters campaign setting. Characters that are in one campaign setting really can't play in the other. If you're following the rule of law, and you can't play a certain archetype character that's in Eberron in Forgotten Realms. So
see, that's
no
where
Warforged in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting.
Oh man. No, that's where I didn't even know they had the other campaign settings back when I actually looked seriously into organized play. They only had Forgotten Realms back then, so I didn't know they added the others. Yeah,
so Ravenloft is called Mist Hunters, and then Eberron is called Oracle of War. Those are popular campaign settings. They don't have the support of the Forgotten Realms campaign setting, which is again based on the hardcovers, because there's way more hardcover releases.
Yeah.
So Wild Beyond the Witchlight was still Forgotten Realms.
Weird. Because that book kind of feels like it would fit in any campaign setting.
It would, yeah. But they for organized play Adventures League, it starts off in the Forgotten Realms, somewhere they're not explicit, but in February, when you start off as a kid, if you were actually go to the Day Zero character creation, which was new this year, was very cool. You start off as a child at a carnival, and then after that game event, then you created your character based on the events that happened. So that's kind of neat. Maybe like Dungeon Crawl Classics, but not as deadly. So
you're not creating like five characters and then seeing who dies.
Which one survives. You just
So and how does that differ from Paizo's? Like, what is?
It's not really that different, to be honest. Paizo, they have a character creation process that you have to follow. They just don't have all the campaign settings, I guess. It's either Pathfinder Society or Starfighter Society. You don't have to worry about that. but yeah, I mean, you'd have one character that you're playing, or you could have I've seen people with a an old trapper keeper full of characters, and then all right, so what tables are open? Oh, we have a tier 3 table open over here for Mist Hunters, and we have a tier 2 table open here for Forgotten Realms, and let's flip through their trapper keeper. I got a character for that. I'll play there.
Okay, that's cool. That's fun.
Kind of, yeah.
That's fun. All right, so I guess about like, let's just talk a little bit about like the Fantasy Grounds aspect, because obviously that's who we are. We're Fantasy Grounds. So how is Fantasy Grounds organized? How is Fantasy Grounds Adventures League different from like at a table? Is it different?
Yeah, it has its technology hurdles like any VTT.
Obviously, you have to get everybody to download Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah, and I'm a very structured person, so we use in most from I say FLGS for a local game store, but FLGS is going forward. Yeah. Usually use an event organization tool called Warhorn.net. And even during the pandemic, I was very inclined to try to use that to organize games. There's multiple ways to do it. You can post on social media, I'm running this game, or you try to organize in a Facebook group. You can do on the forums, use the calendar. There's all kinds of ways to do it. Posting in Discord, looking for groups. But I'm a big proponent of a organized game day with more than one GM, with structured time slots, and you could see the system of what games and what tiers you're going to run. And that's my big that's my thing. I know I don't speak for everybody when it comes to that. There are plenty. You don't have to do organized play in an organized manner. You can just do it like I said previously in your own home with your friends and family. You don't have to follow that organized structure. But that's what I try to emulate. So that's my hurdle, and others' hurdles with Fantasy Grounds is how do you maintain that structure that you get in a traditional FLGS setting? How do you translate that? And for me, it's the game day event that we're now hosting with Fantasy Grounds. Or there are great Discord communities out there like FG Pug, who have organized events. They use Warhorn as well. I love working with them on stuff. But that's if it's not structured like that, then I'd rather just play a campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a me thing. But
but that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
But the nice thing is, because I did this initially when our pandemic restrictions were lifted, all the characters that I had from playing, a year and a half on Fantasy Grounds at that time, I was able just to convert my XML, my Fantasy Grounds character, open up Fantasy Grounds, I open up my D&D Beyond, I transcribed the character over, printed it up, and I went to my game store and I played with it. It's not exclusive to Fantasy Grounds.
Because it's still organized. It's still Adventurers League, so it's still a legal character.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. You could come in and out. You see it a lot at conventions and these VDDWs. They're system agnostic. They're not Fantasy Grounds. It's all the other VTTs that are accepted there. So players come and go, and if they play a weekend worth of games, they're not going to play them all on the same platform.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to, just because it's being mentioned, I do want to remind everyone, if you want to sign up for the giveaway, you can type !art pack. Alternatively, at any time, you can type !giveaway and it'll give you these details. But if you type !art pack, and you have watched the stream for at least 20 minutes, it will enter you into the giveaway. Let me just drop that in there. All right. So oh man, I'm trying to Trying to, I see. My problem is not necessarily coming up with questions. My problem is like figuring out how to phrase it in a way that sounds like the most elegant. You know. So with organized play and Fantasy Grounds, were there any beyond like organization? Were there any other like technical hurdles or differences? Did Fantasy Grounds like was it already kind of set up to handle organized play? I think you mentioned it, but I think you mentioned it before the stream started to me. So that's kind of what I'm trying to lean
okay,
into.
yes, I know what you're saying. So yeah, okay, I'll say yes. When I got into it, it was already for Adventures League was already kind of set up for that. Our 5e developer on our PC sheets, he had the foresight, or somebody asked him, and he acquiesced and he did it. There's a tab for it called a log on your PC sheet. That was designed and still designed and functional for you to log your games as you complete them, just like you would for a regular D&D log sheet, AL log sheet.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of, I could lead into a thing about how you're supposed to log games and the differences between the two programs. But both programs, I will say this, minimum requires good record keeping, because at any moment somebody could ask, hey, let me see your character log. I don't understand how you have this whatever weapon. I need to see what adventure you ran it on. Not being confrontational, but just
but like I get it, because there's a very structured rules to organized play.
Yeah, and you just want to make sure that everybody has an even playing field, and the players at the table feel like they're not getting cheated because somebody's just running that table on them because they're overpowered. There's so DMs or GMs are supposed to kind of rein that kind of play back. But so okay, yeah. So going back, sorry. So already we already had that. That was great. We already had our logs on there. So if you wanted to use that and you were an exclusive Fantasy Grounds player, you could do that. Again, if you're going to go back and forth between Fantasy Grounds and in person or other VTTs, then you're going to want to create either the PDF document log that they give you, or there's a website, D&D Adventurers log. Man, I don't know if I got it right now. It's a .com or something, but any method to log your games is appropriate. But the point is, you're supposed to show up to your table with your log current. So it was nice that Fantasy Grounds already did that. Now, some of the other things that we've kind of gotten along the way, and this is great for us for the game day and playing with people that you don't know, are you're supposed to use, or you're highly encouraged to in most places, but you're almost certainly now required to use some type of tabletop safety toolkit tool. If you're not familiar with that, there's certain things in there like lines and veils, X's and O cards, and stuff like that. I believe the community developer Maticure, and I'm sorry if I got the wrong person, did the X, Y, and O cards, or green, yellow, and red cards as an extension for our games. So now you could have a tabletop safety toolkit as an extension in the game. We cover it with our players. The GMs or DMs are required to cover what tabletop safety toolkits they use. Are going to be using for their session. Not everybody's comfortable with using the same one. That's why there's different ones out there. So that's cool. So we do have extensions now to cover that free right off the forge. Stay that. There have been many attempts to create, and there are 90% solutions, and going off the cuff on this to do import methods. And export methods to PDF, stuff like that. Hopefully we get something someday official from Fantasy Grounds. That's all I'll say. I don't want to go way out there, but we have other tools out there that make our jobs easier.
Yeah, I mean, but that makes sense though to want that, especially from organized play, where as you mentioned, like it's kind of it's platform agnostic. Or organized play is everywhere, and the whole point of it is that you should be able to take your character sheet from one side of the country to the other side, play the same character at any game store you find along the way, and then go home and play it on Fantasy Grounds.
Right. Yeah. Or even maybe this last weekend we had players from our community, our Fantasy Grounds community, attend GaryCon in
Mm.
person. They could have brought the characters they were playing, and they've been leveled up and advanced, and they're going to be coming back next month, or not now this month in April, and they'll have their GaryCon games logged on their character sheet, which will be really cool to see.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Bringing up GaryCon, because that was last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Fantasy Grounds had at least a decent sized presence there for organized playing game tables.
Yeah, I want to say there were 2, 4, maybe 5 AL tables minimum. There were more Fantasy Grounds tables in general, maybe up to 10 total. Yeah, we had a decent showing for that event.
Yeah. So you want to just, how did GaryCon go? You want to just talk a little bit about GaryCon? That's one of those conventions that I've always wanted to go to, but I've never been able to. Fingers crossed that next year.
Yeah, I've never been in person. I would love to. It's actually this is kind of a funny story. Funny not where I grew up, but I grew up in West Chicago suburbs. The funny part is I actually grew up down the road from Brad Bound.
Oh.
We found that out later after talking to each other. So one of us probably stole each other's bikes when we were kids. But it's right by Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
So we're in that area, the Lake Geneva. So since the convention started again, I haven't lived in Chicago since they started GaryCon.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to go back and make a week out of it, see friends and family, and attend the convention. But online, the ethereal, we call it ethereal GaryCon, which is the online, which it was new due to COVID last year, and they kept it this year, but this year was hybrid, which is nice. And they see a need, and this isn't going to be exclusive to GaryCon. These conventions will see a need to service people, players, fans that can't attend in person, whether scheduling conflicts, or maybe they can't travel anymore, things like that, or maybe it's just a bad year for them.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone can like take that, a whole week off or a weekend off to fly out to Lake Geneva or wherever.
Yeah,
whatever specific con.
Yeah, I would suspect you have to fly to Chicago or Milwaukee, because that's not even Lake Geneva's.
Yeah, I know it's a pretty small.
Yeah,
but the idea is I was kind of being generic for like any con. But yeah, it would make sense for a lot of cons to start.
Yeah, Gen Con, Origins, all those, and they're all starting to do it too. Winter Fantasy, it's a big one. Those are actually being put on by Baldwin Games, which are this is the company that puts on the virtual D&D weekends every month for Wizards of the Coast.
Oh yeah,
so it's the online conventions, I think, are here to stay. So having a presence at these organized events is important to us Fantasy Grounds DMs in the community, because we just want to make sure we still have a place at the table when we want to run games. I'm not gonna be told I could only run my game on a different platform. No, I won't be there.
Yeah,
right. I want to make sure I could play Fantasy Grounds and run it for them, and introduce Fantasy Grounds to new people, because that's part of the reason people go to conventions, is they want to play a new game, or now they can play a new VTT, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was my big thing going to conventions. Was I wasn't always at a convention to play Adventurers League. I was also there to check out different TTRPGs that I haven't played before.
Yeah.
Or demo something I haven't. This is something I want to get into. So it's very nice, and it's kind of a big deal that we could now, we're in this new golden age of online gaming, virtual tabletop gaming. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's the most fun about how you mentioned, like trying out a new VTT, or at least one that they haven't played before, is that even people who have played Fantasy Grounds before, I know a bunch of people who like played it like years and years and years ago, and then when I get them into a more modern game, they're like, oh my god, this is so cool now. Like,
I get that a lot.
Like back in like 2008 or whenever. It was very, very simple, and now it's so advanced.
Yeah, I get that reaction a lot. I get this is Fantasy Grounds? I'm like, yeah, this is it. And it's usually when we get the first battle going. I got a nice battle map with some cloud outdoors or something. I got the cloud effects going and line of sight going.
Yeah.
I play with the Sirenscape sound effects, trigger effects. So when they're swinging,
I do too.
Yeah, right.
It's one of those like it's very hard not to once I started.
Yeah, once you get it, once you have that aha moment on how to run the game, and you got players that are playing on that table, you find that they don't want to go back to anything else.
Yeah. My moment for that was when I showed a friend of mine that you could drag the dice onto a token and it would roll the attack.
Right. Yeah.
And that was when he was like, I am sold forever. You can't do that on any of the others.
Yep.
But yeah, that's very fun. By the way, hey, Shield Walrus, thank you for subscribing again, 2 months in a row. I'm gonna mention that giveaway again. I know that we've got a little graphic right there, but I'm gonna mention it again. If you want to enter, be watching for 20 minutes or follow or subscribe, that'll get you enough points, and then type exclamation point giveaway or not exclamation point giveaway, exclamation point art pack or exclamation point tickets, and that will get you entered. All right, so I don't know. I guess like, do you have any fun stories from Adventurers League games? Because I know that there's like a lot of fun stories can come out of basically just playing with so many like different people, rather than like me. I always play with pretty much the same group except for when we bring in like guests. So,
I mean, it's coming to mind immediately is a adventure I ran over GaryCon weekend. GaryCon, they have this program for Adventures League called Dungeon Craft, is what it's called right now, where you can independently create your own adventure for Adventures League. It doesn't have to be published by Wizards of the Coast as long as you follow the Dungeon Craft guidelines. And the Thomas Valley and his team over at GaryCon followed these rules and created a 4-series Adventure League arc in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. And I got tagged to run only Adventure 4 that weekend, so I didn't run anything but that one, which is fine.
Okay.
But my last table Saturday, I had 3 players at that table who had all done Adventures 1 through 3. So it was my first table where I had at least one player that had already done 1 through 3, and 3 out of the 4 at the table had done it. So it was great. So what I mean, I know because I read the synopsis that's given in it, what happened in the previous adventures. What I didn't know is the interactions that those players had with the NPCs up to that point. And of the 3 players, they all played those adventures separately from each other. It was the first time those 3 were at the same table together too. That the role playing we had at that table, and I got to sit back, I'm just listening. They were telling me the story, right? Because they would come across an NPC, and I don't want to reveal anything.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil the adventure. Somebody watching might go play it.
Yeah, but they would have these phenomenal conversations, like they knew this person, right? And it was intimate, and but it was so cool the way the adventure was tied together. Yeah. With the previous 3 what they did in the previous adventures had the potential to affect the outcome, because what we do, we get these things called story awards. So I have to ask as a DM, do you have the story award before the game starts? So I need to know when something happens, how to role play that NPC. Well, it's the way it came together. It was organic, and we didn't know each other. But we usually don't get these great role playing sessions at Adventures League because we're usually strangers. Yeah, but it was very cool to see that. So that was fun.
That actually sounds really fun. I mean, I've been at tables with people I knew that didn't have role playing that good. So. Yeah. Okay, a good gaming says it sounds like the arc was also pretty well written, and that definitely helps. Having a well written adventure definitely helps facilitate good role play.
Yep, yeah. It was Adventures in the Fae, so it was fun. Different. It's nothing we've really had until Wild Beyond the Witchlight, so it was it was neat.
I'm very excited to start running soon. I think that's what we're picking up after we finish our Curse of Strahd.
If you do it, I recommend, I'll give you the link, Bryce, the Adventure League pack. There is a 0-day character creation in that is very fun to use if you're going to do it.
Okay.
It's free. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
plugging in for
I
Wizard
will
of
have
the
to
Coast,
I will
but
have to take a look at that. Yeah, but
it
we were
starts off
all.
with the children.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we were. I think I was gonna force them all to use that. That story hook because the other one's kind of boring.
Yeah,
The other one feels
I'll
like
say
they wrote it in there just so that there could be more than one, but it felt like the majority of the writers went to working on the regular the child start.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, send that over. So does anyone in chat got any questions about either Wizards of the Coast, organized play, D&D Adventures League, or Paizo org play? Feel free to ask. Greg's got chat open, but I also have it open and can see it and forward the questions along if you have any. Also, Shield Walrus, I just realized I didn't notice it before because I'm looking at the restream instead of the actual Twitch chat. But I saw the little emoji that you made with one of the characters from our actual play show with like rainbow wings. That's pretty awesome. Thank you for that. That gave me a little bit. That gave me a good chuckle inside. So in terms of actually, let's talk about the was it virtual D&D weekends? Because we've had a couple of those that Fantasy Grounds was a part of.
Yeah, so it is a monthly, obviously, weekend, virtual D&D weekend, put on by a company called Baldwin Games. I can't speak to the relationship with Wizards of the Coast, whether they're contract or just good. They're just doing it out of the goodness of their heart, I guess. But they put on Winter Fantasy every year, and they do the Origins in person events. So they are a professional DM type of a company, not to be confused with like Start Playing, where you get be a professional DM there. They have a pool of DMs that are invite only, and you could be punted out of that pool of DMs very quickly if you don't follow their rules and you don't take. Oh, got a train going by the house. You don't
I was just
take
gonna
them.
ask, what is that?
Yeah, we have an active rail yard it's active during the day. We didn't know about it. We didn't know about it until COVID, and we started working from home. We didn't realize how close we were to it.
Oh yeah, because you were probably out when the trains were coming by.
Yeah, they only work during the day. We're near a port. But anyway,
that's my head was like, what is going on with Cyber Escape?
Yeah, I was fingers crossed I would go the whole hour or two without it going off, but it'll be gone here in a second. But man, lost where I was going on this. Virtual D&D weekend. So Baldwin Games puts on the event. Professional dungeon masters, like you as a player, do pay to play per game. The dungeon master gets a percentage of it, and then Baldwin Games gets a smaller percentage of that. But what you get for that is what we call the premier event opportunity to play a premier game, which premier being the first time that module is what we call a Adventure League adventure. That module is being run for the public for the first time by a professional DM. So you as a player, you have the opportunity to participate in that and be the first to get your character run through that. This is a very popular program. It didn't exist before COVID.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, to get a premiere, you had to go to certain events around the country to get that kind of atmosphere. But now we get them monthly. But they do things other than the premieres. You can run games prior to that premiere that may not be on the DM's Guild, which I should mention. If an adventure exists and it's not on the DM's Guild, it's probably a premiere. So until the DM's Guild, which is the official point of sale and repository for Adventure League games, if it's not on there, it's probably a premiere. So that's a good way to know if you're playing a premiere game is to search there real quick. And as a DM, you get the PDF, and then once it goes up on the DM's Guild, then you're free to run that game. So you already have it prepped on your VTT. So for me on Fantasy Grounds, I've had a bunch of modules ready to go before they hit, and then once they hit, then I could run them. So that goes every month. That's virtual D&D weekend, and they are VTT agnostic. We have For Fantasy Grounds DMs, I would probably say between 8 and 12 of us are active.
Okay.
And it's kind of a rotates in and out. Like some months I can't do it, but so you'll see maybe on average 4 to 6 Fantasy Grounds DMs at VDDWs right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more we want to get into that, but yeah, I mean, it's if you're looking for organized play run by a professional dungeon master, Baldwin Games is very concerned and adamant that you are a professional dungeon master if you're with them.
Yeah.
Then that's a good place to go.
Yeah. Do we have? Do you know the date of the next one? Obviously, it's a new month, so it's April.
Yeah, matter of fact, so our D&D Adventure League game day is supposed to be the 4th Saturday of the month. But that falls on on the VDDW weekend, so we had to push to September 30th. So that tells me it's on the 24th-ish. It's usually Friday through Sunday. So then that's my beagle.
You got some IRL Sirenscape going on in the background there.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're being attacked by a pack of wolves.
Yeah, it's, my guard beagle. Yeah, she's already back asleep, I think. All right, but yeah, so yeah, we have the 24th is what I think is what the VDDW is, that weekend of this month.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have it's a rotating date. So when they get, because they do Origins and Winter Fantasy and other big ones, the whole event will cover that convention weekend, which goes from Friday through Sunday to maybe a Wednesday or Thursday through Sunday. So you get a lot more VDDW in.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Phantom over on Twitch, thanks for the follow. Okay, got a question from Twitch, but first I want to remind everyone, got that art pack giveaway going on. You can type !ticket or !art pack. You have to be following and or have watched for at least 20 minutes. But most people in chat are probably over that by now. Anyway, a question from chat from Chaotic Good Gaming. G-Rex, how far out do you have organized play scheduled? How far out have you planned?
Right now through June. I don't want to announce it now until it's announced officially, but we may have a special event in June.
Okay.
But we are trying to maintain D&D Adventures League. Like I said, the 4th Saturday of the month is our target. But we'll slide to left or right to accommodate other major events, because our DM pool also are the same pool that major conventions use and the VDWs use. So I don't want to make our DMs have to choose which one do I want to be at. I'd like to give them the opportunity to decide that they can make both or work their own schedule out.
Yeah.
And then the Paizo Organized Play game days are going to be starting on the 2nd Saturday of the month. So our first one again is April 9th. Signups will open up tomorrow on April 2nd on Warhorn.
All right, and you said that we're doing a Discord event for that too. Yeah,
we're gonna try the new event, the Discord event tool, which will redirect where they got to sign up and what channels they need to be in, and then if you go to the Get game day role in the Discord server, there's a green check mark. If you read the directions and you check it, you'll see the secret channels that are there for organized play. Then they're actually hidden from everybody else. That way we don't get game day interference.
Yeah.
Minimize game day interference, I should say. And I don't say anybody wants to jump in and say hi, you're not interfering. I want our tables to be comfortable while the game's going, that people aren't going to be just jumping in and interrupting them.
Yeah. Makes total sense. Nothing is worse than, because I've had it where in person games where someone just walks in. I volunteer up at a pretty big haunted house, and that's where we used to do a lot of our games, was just in a side room up there. And then every other day we were playing, someone would just walk in and just be like, "Hey, how's it going?" and then just sit and chat with us. And we're like, "Okay, we're trying to do something," but yeah, so that makes sense. Any plans for Gen Con? Does Fantasy Grounds Organized Play have any plans for Gen Con?
Nope, nothing yet. I haven't been directed by anybody. Brad Bounds, our go-to. He got us at GaryCon. But from SmiteWorks officially, no, nothing.
Do you have any plans for Gen Con?
I don't, not yet. Man, my schedule, I could only do a couple months out at a time.
Yeah.
That's as far out as I could commit right now.
That's fair.
But
when is Gen Con? I never remember, and then it always like sneaks up on me.
That's the big game convention where people premiere games for the most part. But
Yeah.
There's also a actual gaming part of that with Adventure League stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just wondering like when in the year that is.
Oh man, I think I do have a personal calendar. I don't. Yeah, I do.
I know it's later in the year.
Yeah, it's later. I know Origins is coming up before that.
Okay.
Origins is going to be in June.
It's in August. Okay,
there we go.
That's why it always sneaks up on me because I'm always like, I don't know when Gen Con is, and then it's happening. Oh, I see your dog has joined us.
Yeah, my guard beagle. That's her couch, not mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. By the way, hello Fantasy Grounds Academy. How are you doing? Yeah. Any other questions for Greg about our organized play, or just about anything in general? I don't know. Let's just go with a nice softball question. What's your favorite class to play?
Probably Cleric, but I like Forge Domain kind of stuff. I like stuff Clerics I could try to get some damage output out of.
Mm-hmm.
Heals is you gotta be really hurt if I'm gonna heal you.
You have to be dying
I'm not
for me to care.
I'm not an arbitrary healer. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fun. That's kind of a that's a class I don't hear a lot of as a lot of people's favorites, honestly.
Oh yeah, it's probably because people expect them to heal you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Everyone, you hear Cleric, and like your first thought is a heal bot. And
yeah,
like,
I don't want to be. I'm not saying I'm anti-Cleric. I will heal you, but yeah, you gotta be hurting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hey Shield Boss, I was going to ask about that too. Your keyboard over your shoulder there. It looks like a Commodore.
It is. That one's a Commodore 64.
That's what I was going to ask.
I do. One of my hobbies is doing some retro video game restoration stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the VIC-20 is up high right now.
Oh, nice. That's one you don't hear about ever. The VIC-20, never hear about that computer. Yeah, I was gonna ask. I almost bought myself a Commodore a while back, but it didn't look like it was in the greatest shape, so I put it back. But
they're tough. If you ever get into it, the first thing I'll tell you to do is replace the power supply.
Yeah, I would imagine.
They were the power supply bricks were held together with an epoxy that deteriorates. So if you plug it in, the old ones, if you just plug them in and power it up, you will fry your motherboard.
Oh no!
Pro tip if that's something you get into.
Yeah. Chaotic Good Gaming. We got another question from them. Any specific goals set for organized play this year? Anything we can do to help those goals?
I think my number one goal, and it might be SmiteWorks too, is to get more dungeon masters, more players willing to step up and become a dungeon master and just get their feet wet, because there's no commitment like you do for a campaign. You don't have to worry about letting a campaign down if you decide it's not for you, or your players want to move on to something else because maybe they're just too nice and tell you they're not gonna give you the time to get your skill set right.
Yeah.
So you don't have to you don't have to worry about that. You get a 2 to 4 hour game in. There are different game lengths. Two kind of being an outlier, but there are 2 hour games, and then there's 4 hour game sessions. Just start playing some 2 hour game sessions and get acclimated with Fantasy Grounds Dungeon Master tools and honing your Dungeon Master tool, personal toolkit. And that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see more Dungeon Masters, and then that way we could grow the Fantasy Grounds community.
Dungeon Masters are like the most important and the hardest to get, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure the answer is kind of cliche. It's because that's where the
I'm
demand's
sure I
at,
could ask any
like
organized play organizer, and they'll probably have that same answer. If I want more Dungeon Masters.
Yeah, but I mean, we're usually like in person at our FLGSs. We're usually kind of guilted by the organizer. Hey, you haven't ran a game in a while. You mind not signing up tonight and run this for me? And they they're not bullying you, but
Yeah.
they're usually right. Hey, I've seen Greg here, 6 weeks in a row, and he's been here as a player. Maybe I'm gonna when he walks in, I'm gonna give him an adventure and say, hey,
you're running this
here
tonight.
you go, buddy. Because you don't need. That's the other great thing. You just need the SRD and an adventure. Mm-hmm. You don't need to own everything else. The adventure includes the monsters, the NPCs. It includes all the loot. Everything's in there, so you actually don't need to have a dungeon master guide, monster manual.
Yeah.
Volo, Mordecai, and Xanathar. All
yeah,
that
you
stuff.
don't need a mile high stack of books.
You could with Fantasy Grounds, you have the SRD and the basic rules, which are free, and you just need the adventure. Adventures are $5 or less, and
yeah, they're pretty cheap. I know I've bought a couple, and I don't even run Adventures League, but I've bought. I
haven't even mentioned that. I haven't even mentioned this yet, but we give you DM's Guild credit for running games for $5, and Adventures $5 at the DM's Guild. So it's a great way to learn and start becoming a DM and getting confidence, and then you get good at it, or you want to keep running games outside of once a month. You could maybe go to FG Pug and run more games there, or start your own group, or you maybe get really good at it and you want to teach it and help other people get good at it. You go to the Fantasy Grounds Academy and reach out to Windrunner or myself or Laroon and say, hey, I really like DMing, and I think I could get through to other people to do this. And all these organizations are looking for volunteers. If I could get you to spend 2 to 4 hours running a game, hopefully that's the impetus for you to become, a community dungeon master in Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say too, to anybody that feels intimidated to start DMing with Fantasy Grounds, it'll probably take you a day or two to get used to all the tools. But if you've already been a player on Fantasy Grounds, you already know how most of it works. But once you get used to it, it is so much easier to DM on Fantasy Grounds than DMing in person.
I'm going to say that Fantasy Grounds broke me. So when we went back to do in-person playing, I can't manage it.
Yeah,
I need my combat tracker. I need my automation tools.
Yeah, you're like, where I have to manually keep track of initiative and hit point damage. I
got players grabbing miniatures and just moving them across the the chest.
Yeah, I can't lock them.
Like, whoa, hey, can I wait? Was that 30? I didn't approve that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it is way easier to DM with Fantasy Grounds than I think a lot of people just looking at it from the outside think it is.
But once you learn the tools.
Yes, once you learn the tools. But again, if you're already a player, you already know about half of it.
Yeah, and you're not going to learn it. The only way to learn it is to do it. So that's it.
Yeah, and there's plenty of resources for you to start learning it. The Fantasy Grounds Academy's got a bunch of stuff. Our own Fantasy Grounds YouTube channel has got a bunch of stuff going up with Stohove teaching 5e, which is obviously very, very important to learning Adventures League stuff. All right. Okay, one for fun gaming. I was gonna say, I know I saw a question, but I was taught that, but we were talking, so I missed it. As someone who has run D&D Adventures League at community centers and etc., and plays in Adventures League every Saturday, how do we find these orgs that grant DM Guild credits again? That's not ours. Are what we do is we do the Fantasy Grounds Forge credits.
Well, we do both. So
do we?
More
okay.
Yeah, more plug. So this is great.
Ooh.
Over at our monthly D&D Adventures League game day. Right now, that's its own Discord server. The Paizo Organized game day this is kind of like a pilot month because it's the first month of Paizo. If it's successful, which I think it's going to be, then there is the serious consideration of moving Adventures League into the main Discord server as well. Right now, we have a very, very strong active community on a separate server, so it's kind of there'll be some conversations about this and the right way to go about it if we end up deciding to move. But there is a separate D&D Fantasy Grounds Adventure League server. We have announcements. I just released one the other day. What you do if you sign up to be a game master or a dungeon master there, you have the opportunity for every game you run. SmiteWorks will give you $5 store credit at the DM's Guild if you run for our game day event.
Okay.
It has to be our game day event, right? For every game, every 3 games you run, you also get a 1,000 Forge Gold credit. So that's really that's $10 US. So
Yeah.
$10 and $5 that's $25 for every 3 games you run is what we're actually rewarding you to step up and run a game. It's zero cost to the players. It's zero cost for you as the DM, other than minimum having a standard license. We don't require an ultimate license. We'll list your game as a standard license, so the players know they must have a standard license. That's about it. You have to have an adventure on hand, and we'll work with you on getting an adventure if you need one before the game. I could give you an adventure before the game rather than giving you the $5 credit after. I'm willing to work with you on that. So you have something. Like I said, the mod files that we give you, or you get from the SmiteWorks store, the Fantasy Ground store, the adventure has everything you need.
Yeah.
It has the storyline. It has the encounters with the NPCs. It has the loot, the parcels with the items in it. Everything is self-contained. So it's a $5 mod, and you have everything you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will one more time in case it wasn't clear. It has to be at our game day. So if you're not at a sanctioned Fantasy Grounds game day, whether the Paizo Organized Play game day or the eventually organized game day, I can't offer you those incentives. You have to be within my DM pool, GM pool at that event running games.
Hey, Shield Borrows, thanks for letting me know that Discord link is expired. I think that was before. I think I made that before we got the what is it called? The vanity URL. Yeah. So I think that's why it's not working. So I'll get that switched over. Do any of those games play 3.5? I don't believe so. I mean, Pathfinder's close. No
3.5 right now. Yeah, so right now the focus is on PF2, Starfinder Society, and 5e. I'm not going to lie, if we didn't say we have ambitions to have a game day for other pool sets, it's not off the table, and certainly we would love to do that, but the demand has to be there.
Yeah.
We can't spend weeks organizing an event for 2 games. So it's something we want to do.
The role playing game market is like, it's dominated by 5e and then Pathfinder. Yeah,
Paizo kind of slots right.
Yeah, I guess I'll just say Paizo instead of.
But I mean, other publishers have organized play. So Chaosium has it for both Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest. Even 5e publishers, I think, like Frog God Games and them, and Cobalt Press, I think they have organized play programs as well. So we're aware of them, and we are totally open to having those game days. If we could get the DMs, basically I can't run a two table event and justify the setup required to do it. And we need to have a decent. We don't know I can't say what the number is, but yeah, because we do want to. We're very good with starting small and growing it, but we have to have the GMs. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're nearing the end of our hour, so I want to bring it up again. Art pack giveaway. There's only 5 people entered, so everyone's got a really good chance unless somebody wants to jump in there at the last minute. ! Tickets. Get yourself a Victorian Map Pack Volume 1. This is a brand new release this week. You just have to have been watching for a bit and type ! Tickets or ! Art pack. Let me just check on something. I think it's ticket, not tickets. That was my bad. It says to my ! Ticket. There we go. All right. So, anything else? Anything else you want to inform people of?
I think if you have questions, you can find me lurking around both the Fantasy Grounds Discord, the Fantasy Grounds Academy Discord, FG Pug Discord. Pretty active on the forums. There are organized play subforums on the Fantasy Grounds website. I get answer questions there. And then our games are listed on Warhorn. So if you find something to the effect of Fantasy Grounds organized play for whatever, Adventures League or Pathfinder Society or Starfinder Society, that's probably us. And if G-Rex is the organizer, that's me. So
fun. Yeah, that's a good point. If you already have, if you do already have the art sub, then you have this pack. So just as a reminder. But you can still enter. It's just you'll only really notice that you have it after if you cancel your art pack subscription. This is a forever copy of this. It will stay on your account even if you don't have the subscription anymore. Yeah. Oh, I missed it, and your dog's gone now, so it's not really super important anymore. It's not super pertinent to anything. But what if your dog played a class? What would your dog's class be?
Yeah, she's right here. She's a rogue. She's a thief.
Hey, same.
She'd be pickpocketing rations.
Just I would like a treat. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I think she heard us.
Yeah, she's right. She moved down to my feet.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. All right, yeah. Last chance. Everyone should have by now. Everyone should have enough points. Sorry about that. This will be better in our future giveaways now that I have the point system set up. That was a thing that I had to set up right before the stream, and it doesn't carry over everything. But it should be all set up now for future giveaways, because we're gonna be doing these occasionally, where we'll give away one of the SmiteWorks Fantasy Grounds art packs. So feel free to enter. You do have to be watching on Twitch. Trying to enter it with on YouTube won't exactly work. And let me just do this. Mid bad hair. If you wanna try that again, I want to make sure that everybody that wants to get in this time can get in. So if you want to try that again, you should be good. I'm being nice this time because I screwed up. Anyway. Let's see. Do we got any other questions that I missed? I'm very good at missing questions and having to double back around. Nope, ask that one. Fantasy Academy is looking for non-5e stuff. Always.
Yep.
All right. So, I guess just my last question. And my brain just went blank. So I don't. Maybe I don't have a last one. Can
I plug something not organized play?
Yeah, sure.
So cool. So Fantasy Grounds Academy, as it came up, and I mentioned, and it came back to me. Next month at the Fantasy Grounds Academy is Free League Publishing Month. They are the publishers of Alien, Bison, Cimarron. I think those are the. There might be more that they have on Fantasy Grounds. I'm sure those three are on Fantasy Grounds. We are going to have a Alien Day, which is April 26th, with some supporting classes and one shots leading up to that. So.
Okay. All right, and when is that again?
The month of April, the Fantasy Grounds Academy is having a entire rule set theme month for Free League Publishing. So.
Excellent. Still waiting for Forbidden Lands on FGU. Well, we'll see. Unfortunately, I'm not in charge of what products get like adapted. I just talk to people.
Yeah, their Year Zero system's amazing. I'd like to see the One Ring that just came out.
Oh yeah, that one is fairly new.
Yeah.
You see, the only one that like the only book that I really want is I really want that Dark Souls 5e book for Fantasy Grounds. Especially because like it sounds like a really fun system where you have to like track stamina points to like use dodging and blocking and stuff, but I'm like that sounds like a nightmare at an actual table.
Yeah.
There's a reason why RPGs don't typically have like stamina points like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know how many points you have? You can type exclamation point points, I believe. Let me double check and make sure that is the command, but yes, that is how you will do that. Yeah, exclamation point points. Unfortunately, well, these are slightly different than the built-into Twitch points. Since I have to run this on the basically I have to run this giveaway through the chat bot, and it doesn't support Twitch's built-in currency. I wish that eventually somebody would just like merge them all. All right, so we've got 9 entries. I'm gonna close this giveaway soon. If you want to get in, now is your very last chance. Exclamation point ticket or exclamation point art pack. It's only one. I know some people do like multiple. You can enter, get multiple tickets. We only do one ticket per person. And then when we do this, please send us or I'll send you a private message so you can give me your Fantasy Grounds username. And we can get you that art pack. All right, let's just while we're are you playing in any games right now? There we go. There's a question.
As a player, no. I have 2 ongoing 5e campaigns, and one's bi-weekly, the other one's weekly. Then I have a bi-weekly Mongoose Traveler game doing Pirates Next. Huge fan of Mongoose Traveler.
Yeah, I haven't played. I've not played Traveler yet, but it's on my list. I have a big list of games that I want to play.
It's changed the way I play TTRPGs.
Oh, interesting. Where do we sign up for the G-Rex fan club? That's a really good one. That's a really good one. And by the way, because I see Mad Bad Hair checked your points. It does cost 20 points. It costs 20 gold to enter. Never heard of Traveler.
Yeah, it's technically really old. It's Mark Miller wrote it back in the late 70s, so it's kind of his OG up there with Dungeons and Dragons. Sci-fi based, and it's a D6 based system based on skill checks.
Okay.
Successful skill checks.
Yeah, every time I've looked at it, it always kind of reminded me of like Star Trek before like the Star Trek RPG was made. It always looked like it was that type of sci-fi rather than like Starfinder is more like, I would say Starfinder is more like Star Wars.
Yeah. But Mongoose though, they do have publishing rights, and with their second edition, they've really up the ante on artwork and what Traveler can be in a modern setting, because for a long time Traveler has stuck to the traditional black and white line art and older tropes of sci-fi TTRPG, but Mongoose is really kind of brought the game to a modern age.
Mongoose does really good books. I've been just barely picking up all of their Sea of Thieves RPG that they did. Super simple system, it sounds like. But I was really impressed when I got. I still waiting on the starter box. But I got the rules expansion book, and I'm like, wow, this is a really high quality book. I don't know what I was expecting, but they do very, very good books, and the dice for that system are very nice too.
Cool.
All right, well, I think it's time to close off this giveaway, and we're gonna say thank you, Greg, thank you G-Rex for taking the time out of your day to come and talk to us. Feel free to plug your stuff while I grab a winner.
All right, Bryce. Well, thank you. So one last time, the Organized Play D&D Adventures League and Paizo Organized Play for Pathfinder Society and Starfighter Society. You find information on the Fantasy Grounds forums under the Organized Play section. That'll probably be a good place to start. Otherwise, there is a Organized Play channel, a couple group of channels technically, on the Discord, Fantasy Grounds Discord, and I'm active there. And I am G-Rex on Discord and on
Awesome. Time for a winner, and the winner of the Victorian Map Pack Volume 1 is... Oh, look at that. I won, so we're going to redraw it. One for fun. That was my that was when I had to enter it to make sure that it worked. One for fun gaming. You won. Actually, I think I can quickly send a private message. And here's the fun thing. April Fools. I'm gonna pick a second winner, and we're gonna give away 2 of these. So one for fun. You get one. One. Let me just Let's make sure you're still here. I do. Yeah, he's still in chat. All right. All right. And the second winner number 2, who's also getting a Victorian Map Pack Volume 1 is Furied Fate. No, I'm sorry. But maybe we'll do another one in one of our future shows. But Furied Fate. I hope I'm saying your name right. You also get a Victorian Map Pack Volume 1. Yep, time for corset and top hats. The best combo, honestly. The best combo. All right. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Greg, DM Greg, for coming in and talking to us about org play. Everyone, remember, go and join us on Discord, and you can come and join some organized play.
Yep, thank you. I look forward to seeing all the all new users coming in now.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to
you better all go join it right now.
Yeah, free to play. So come find us.
Yep. Tomorrow, I want to remind everyone. Tomorrow we've got Josh's map stream. Tomorrow, that is at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we also have, so it'll be starting right about now tomorrow. And we also have tomorrow Fabled Dice, which is the actual play stream that I host here. That is our 5e Curse of Strahd actual play. That's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your night. And we'll see you next time. Bye.